Call this meeting to order. It's the July 16th regular meeting of the Darien Parks and Recreation Commission, 7:34. Okay, first item is the approval of the minutes from June 18th. Over. Did anybody have any corrections, changes, additions?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve, okay. Cindy, second. Amy, all in favor? Your camera does very thorough job. Okay, do we have any public comment? Public comment? Okay, we're gonna be really quick tonight, I think. Next is a discussion and vote on docking of the skip over pear tree. Somehow between Jen and I, we missed getting that on the April agenda. Jen's like, we didn't do that. I was like, we did, but somehow it got missed. I don't know.
Well, I definitely think we should re-up it again. I haven't heard any complaints in the past, 6 months. But I definitely think he deserves to have it re-upped.
Yeah. The trick is going to be when and positively we start construction. He's going to need to make alternate arrangements. So that would be right around, if we do this till October 30th, I mean, the bid package has construction starting November 1st, so we'll have to figure that out.
Well, you'd have it until then.
Till then, so we would have it until then.
How long will the, go ahead,
What would the alternative be?
I don't know.
Okay.
how long is the construction going to take?
To late spring, early summer.
Okay. And once it's completed, will he still have a spot for his boat, or will next summer?
I think we're gonna have to revisit that.
Okay.
Once we see, what the new ramp looks like and how much space there is and all of that.
Okay.
I think that's gonna have to be TBD, to be honest with you. Right now, there's that little nook, but, depending on the width and everything, I don't know. I don't know the technical details that well.
Okay.
Any other questions?
So, are we voting on that tonight?
Yes,
Right?
because
Yeah.
we should have done it
Yeah.
for date book, as I said, somehow.
Okay.
I must not have checked my tickler. I don't know what to say. Usually I have a month by month that we got to do this and that. And somehow I missed it.
No worries.
But he did send the insurance, but he did send his insurance certificate in without being prompted, so that was good. Hey, Chris.
So I vote
yes.
to move ahead with the vote, and that we should give him access until
October 30th.
October 30th.
Okay. Amy moves.
Hey, Chris.
Mary Louise, you want a second?
Yes.
Second, okay. All in favor? Okay. Mr. Freight's vote.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
Okay. Okay, next we need to talk about the parks, annual parks tour, which we've historically done kind of late-ish fall. And now that Jen's been with us over a year, she has requested that we move it earlier to better coincide with the budget cycle, because last year, she basically had to have her first cut of numbers in before we had even gone out. So at that point, we're saying, oh my God, look at that needs to be painted, or look at that. It's really late. So she's asked us if we could move it forward and ideally have the tour before our September, I think it's 18th meeting? 18th, 19th, whatever. It's one of those late teams in September. So she and I had looked at three possible dates in late August and early September. The August 30th date is actually Labor Day weekend, which I kind of conceptually don't love. I've not heard back from Janet. I texted her again this afternoon and said, could you just let me know? But I haven't heard from her. But based on hearing from everybody else, September 6th, 6 out of the 9 members would be available, and 7 if Janet can make it. The 13th, only 4 members, and if Janet can make it, 5 would be available. So in theory, September 6th is the best Saturday. I know Sunday you were tossed out Sundays. I don't know, Jen, how you feel about that. I don't know how
That
other
doesn't
people
matter to me, but
feel about doing Sundays. I usually kind of
It's fine.
conceptually stay away from. But then I would have
I
to
think
go back and
Sunday
check
might
with
be better.
everybody again, and I was
Yeah.
hoping to get the days, the date locked in so we could vote on it tonight.
I can do the 6th or the 7th.
Okay.
Yeah. Or we hold 7th as a rain date, just in case.
Sometimes Saturdays are crazy. You know, I mean, I'm fine with either one, but probably Sunday to me makes no sense.
Okay, so if we did,
I'd like to do Sunday. I have 2 weddings I'm doing on those days, and this is just, I really like this, I mean, we all do, but I like to plan it, and usually we have more time to plan it. There's just a ton of stuff happening this weekend.
okay, so.
So Sundays work. If all things being equal to everybody else,
Yeah.
Sundays would be a little better.
Okay, so I don't have you in the order you're sitting, so just give me a minute. Okay, so Cindy, can you do the 7th?
Yeah.
Amy, you could do the 7th? Ed, I don't know about, he was available all 3 of the dates, though. Mary Louise, can you do the 7th?
The 7th is better actually than the 6th.
Okay. Terry, I don't know about. He was not available the 6th either, though, so he may just be gone that weekend, but it might work. Jim, you said you can do the 7th, and Chris, you can do the 7th.
Yep.
You said, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's the same number of people and possibly more. I just don't know about Ed, but he was good all 3 of the other dates, so hopefully. So we can do that. We don't necessarily have to do it as early either. I mean, I'm fine doing it early and getting it over with, but
Yeah, I mean, early the better.
just get up and
Yeah, get it over with.
Yeah, yeah.
get up and get out. Okay. Okay, so let's talk about the 7th. Okay, so we'll vote on that in a minute. And then in terms of, did you include in here the park? You did.
Okay, they went last.
Yes.
Yep.
So last year we hit cherry, McGuan, Tilly, weed, pear tree. So what are people's thoughts on where they'd like to go this year? You can mix it up. On the other hand, those are the parks where the most stuff happens.
Yeah, I think that's a
I mean,
good mix. And Baker, we skipped on the last tour because of the construction, I think. So, I mean, if we just wanted to check it out, the new playground, maybe that's an extra one, but it's on the way to Weed when we're coming down.
Okay.
But depending on what's going on, if there's fall wall, we got hit with parking 2 years ago.
2 years ago, we tried to go, we all pulled in a lot, we're like, nope. We pulled right back out again because there was just no way any of us were gonna be able to park there, but, we could at least try. But people still wanna go, people still wanna go to Cherry,
Yeah.
just because we should. McGuan. Just kinda hit all the active ones. Then we went to Tilly.
I still think we should look
It's
at
always
Tilly.
good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you think we should switch Baker for McGuan? Since
You
we
and
missed-
McGuan for Baker.
Yeah. Baker for McGuan, McGuan for Baker.
Let's just put Baker tentatively, and we'll look at the baseball schedule and see what's
Okay,
going on.
Okay.
Yeah. If we can get in with parking, because that's a
Okay.
quick one too.
Yeah.
And
So-
we could do it
Is it
first,
that-
then we do it the
first
first
thing?
thing, might be best, right? Because you
Yeah.
might be ahead of baseball if you start there.
We
Or maybe-
started Cherry and work our way south towards the
Usually,
beaches.
yeah, we usually try to do it somewhat,
Yeah.
some semblance of a.
Or the baseball games are tend to be on Saturdays.
Right.
Well,
versus
that's true, so
Sundays.
maybe it
So
works out.
Sunday morning.
Baker might not be an issue
Yeah, might
if you're
be.
doing it early.
Now,
This is the first park where we have the handicap access now, right? Where we have where we've put in the path to the playground? Is that
There's a
correct?
path to the,
We've
yeah,
done McGuan.
that was
First
done.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, McGuan you can get to
McGuan has,
and Cherry you can get to
Yeah.
as well. But that's something new that wasn't there before.
Right, right. Okay.
question, do we need to go to Pear Tree given,
Construction.
yes, given potential construction? I mean, really,
Yeah, I mean, if you
Everything-
want to know I would say anything that you're planning on asking people money for, you should be visiting.
even though the plan's baked, approved,
Already done.
the whole
Yeah,
parking lot's
I-
gonna be ripped up?
I do, actually, just because it's for publicity. Makes my committee happy too.
Okay.
Well, let's finish it.
It's just, we're looking for
That's my
things that
2 cents
need,
worth.
yeah, I'm just saying, we're looking for
Yeah, it would
things
take
to put in
long.
the capital plan
I hear you.
Yeah.
Just make sure it's
It's a
not
major
the day of the road race, the Darien Road Race.
That's true.
Let me look that up real quick.
Yeah.
And the,
I think it's a Saturday.
because the boat club has their, hang on, let me,
I think that's later.
I think it's later too.
That's September
I wanna say it's like 2
20
weeks
next
later.
weekend, road race.
That's usually like the third week in September.
Should we look at Celix, because stuff's going on there, right? The,
I mean,
it's there in a while.
It's the
Yeah, the
21st.
construction, I mean, the only thing is, generally, we don't, in terms of capital needs, there's really
Right.
not
Right,
as much.
but there's stuff going on there.
But in theory, construction will be still, I know, last I heard though, the new owner was going back for some changes to the plan, so that may slow it down some more too.
No, no, we haven't been there for a little while.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything about parking at Woodlawn in a while. It's always a discussion.
Yeah, so people want to go to Pear Tree, or feel we should go to Pear Tree?
I haven't ever, I've been to Woodland Park like once a long time ago.
Woodland, the only conversation is parking up top.
That's
And we've done about as much as we could in terms of moving boulders
Mm-hmm.
and what's there, so.
That's the one issue, and that, and dogs on leash and off, and then running around, and that's a
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah. But the rest of the parks will be divvied up between the rest of the commission members, and then what we'll ask is ideally for people to start working on that
Make their reports.
now, or soon, and I'll connect
And
with
you-
Terry's way of business this week and see if he can get the forms ready
Yeah.
to go for, so that people, as they have time during the summer and are looking to get out, can knock that off, so that by the time of the tour,
It's all done.
we're pretty much good and ready to go, so that we can have, you know, a good discussion at the September
And I
meeting.
think even if we don't have the report consolidated and made by the September meeting, at least we can have initial discussion in September, so at least I can get a feel for what things might need to go in. And then we can finalize that in October if need be. Because I don't think that'll be a lot of time for Terry to turn that around.
Oh, he was pretty quick.
He was quick, but
Pretty quick.
I'm trying to be nice and not
No, I
put the
know.
pressure on him.
Okay, so where did we, I'm sorry, so we ended up with Cherry. Did we decide to keep McGuan?
I don't know, I felt sort of settled with our decisions from the going, and then we just sort of went, and it looks great.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think McGuan's.
I don't think McGuan's
Because there's
necessary.
nothing else other than what was approved in the capital budget, and that work won't have happened yet to
Yeah.
look at, so.
And the advertisements are up, if you haven't seen.
Yeah, that's the only thing
Yeah,
I
that's
want
the
to
only
see, the advertisements, then I could just drop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they look fine, as advertisements go. They're as good as they could be if you're gonna have advertisements, I think they're nice and consistent. So we do Cherry, Tilly, Baker, Weed, and then what do people feel about Pear Tree?
Let's finish with Pear Tree, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, people start to drop off.
I think
towards the
Adele
end.
makes a good point.
Okay.
Totally interesting.
And do people want to try to get in one of the nature preserves, or don't feel, just want to let people do that on their own?
Yeah, yeah, just assign us. you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll
so
take
then
Celix or
we'll sign
whatever,
up the
someone else
rest.
take Woodland.
Okay. Okay. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's usually,
Yeah.
as much as we can do.
that's usually as much as we can reasonably do. We always end up spending a lot of time at Cherry one way or the other. And a lot of time we tend to spend down here. Weeds, so,
Or Pear Tree.
and then Pear Tree, although that's probably hopefully ripped up. Okay, that sounds good. And then, you know, we'll talk, you know, next about, you know, how we want to organize our fall. And then I think that'll tie nicely to, you know, reviewing the master plan and where we are and what other things we see in there that, gee, you know, we've done this, this, and this, but we haven't tackled that. That we may want to layer in the capital plan as well. Okay. All right, so it looks like we're going to go with Sunday, September 7th. Do we want to start at 9 a.m.?
Sure, 9 o'clock's good.
Okay, so if I get a motion to schedule a special meeting of the Parks and Recreation Commission for purposes of its annual Parks Tour for Sunday, September 7th at 9 a.m. Jim? Amy?
Okay.
All in favor? Okay, so I will work on the rest of the assignments. It's usually 2 to 3 a person. And then I'll reach out to Terry to see if he can get the forms ASAP. And then suppose you have time over the summer and it's a hot day and you're thinking nothing would be better than a walk in the woods to cool you off. Off you can go. Okay, excellent. Okay, so that ties into, we took a vote, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, we did? Sure, okay, sorry. For a minute, I was like, did we do it? Okay, discussion of fall focus items for the Parks and Recreation. I feel like the last couple of years, we've had pretty intense focus on, the major capital projects, which we're still trying to wrap up, and, the playgrounds and some of these bigger items, but it seems like it's a good time now to take a look with a lot of that, kind of behind this, adding the paddle court here, we had all the ARPA money, so there was a lot, and, we do have capacity issues in the sense that, the commission has a capacity in terms of how much it can work on, and then even more so, the staff has a capacity and how much, it can work on at one time, so we can't just say, yeah, do this, yeah, do that, whatever. But I think it is time for us to kind of, take a look at the master plan and kind of assess against progress. That was finished in 2018. It was January, which means we were really working on 2017, which means it's going to be time again even before we know it. But, as I look through it, I definitely say, yeah, we hit that, and then those other things, we really haven't, put a keen focus on other areas, so. And again, with Jen not being here, getting a full year under her belt, I think it's good to do that. So, my suggestion would be if we can, people try to kind of crack it open over the summer and kind of get ready to, have a discussion on it in September, which I think would tie into, but do you think that's too much of her having a budget talk?
Yes,
Because I think they all go together, though. That's the trick.
I think it's too much. It's a lot. I mean, I get that they dovetail, but
Yeah.
I think it's just gonna be way too long to have a planning meeting to cover both of those. We should probably just assess what we find out on the Parks Tour and then see what our goals were and apply it.
I mean, if people get a chance to look at that a little bit before going on the tour,
That would be good.
would be good, because that could be in people's minds as we go along and say, oh, this was something that was noted in the plan, should we try to do it, should we not, or hold off? So that might be a way to kind of combine the two.
Right.
Is the master plan attached to the website or where?
Yeah, it's on the
Yeah, it's on the
website.
Okay,
Yeah.
thanks. I think that's a good idea. I just think it's a lot to do in one night.
In one meeting, yeah, it might be a lot. And then the other things, we had talked about a rules update that I think, based on what we just talked about, is probably a little bit less of a priority because they're in pretty good shape. But I know, Jen, you said
We're finding things
You're finding
every
things.
day, there's something else, something will come in and we're like, hey, we really need to look at that or address it. So we're gonna be starting, as soon as the camp is done, we're gonna start looking, sitting down, kind of having some regular meetings in the office, just to go through the whole document. So I think then we'll probably come, to the commission with some thoughts
Do you want a rules committee?
I'm saying that we should maybe get a couple people
Yeah,
To-
working with you on that.
to work
Yeah.
on it. But do you want to, so maybe do that for November, have a preliminary discussion? I'm just figuring
Yeah,
out spacing
if we
things.
go through and look at it, and then that will give us some time to meet with that smaller group
Okay,
before then.
okay, so then November. we
Because
have a
we want to
discussion
get
about
things,
rules
some of the
changes.
stuff we would want in place for January, potentially. You know what I mean, for the new year.
Yeah. And even like when the, you know, it's so much, we spend so much time on them, but even when the thing about updating the dog fine came up and I read that one paragraph, and I was like, oh, that doesn't belong there, you know, you take a fresh read and you're like, eh.
Do we have to vote on a rules subcommittee?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think if we just get a couple people who volunteer to work on it, and then maybe a couple people who will kind of work on, as we talk, looking at the master plan and sort of coalescing how we prioritize.
Okay.
I think that's okay.
Jen, I'm going to have it out on that.
Okay, great.
Yep.
I think that'll be fine. And then at some point, and we don't know when for sure, we will have the report from the ADA consultants, which that tie into the budget as well, so.
When's your guess that that's gonna come in?
It's supposed to be over the summer, so we're halfway through already, so time is flying by, so it should be somewhat soon. I know I have a couple of meetings on it with those consultants next week, I think. I don't know, they're doing some different trainings with staff throughout the whole West Cog area that they're doing. So I'll see if I can find out a little bit more too when they come, but all I've heard is this, you know, this summer, so it should be coming fairly soon.
So
that one may go into like early, you know, December, January or something, depending on when it
But if there's
shows up.
budget implications, so we may even have to have a preliminary chat about that in September if we get.
It's all gonna
That might-
depend on when it.
That might straddle
when it comes.
September and December in terms of when it comes and how deep a dive we really take into that. I mean, the meetings I went to with Jen and John went to them with the consultants, it wasn't any question that there were gonna be recommendations. I mean, they said Darien townwide, and what they said, there'll be like 1,000 recommendations or something, and it's between the parks properties and then other town properties, so. But it's gonna be a multi-year project across different agencies and looking how we implement and think about it, but, you know, I think we're gonna have to start absorbing it. And it'll be a discussion that's gonna go on. You know, and some items won't have any budget implications.
Right, and some things could be very simple to do, and some things may be much bigger issues that will then become big capital projects or
Right.
something. Or when you go to do another project, we just tie it in. So it's all gonna depend, I mean, some of it could be, you know, I think I don't know if that garbage can be placed where it's placed. So if it's something as simple as that, obviously it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it comes back.
Right, but I know they had some observations at Cherry in the playground, even though we worked really hard to make that accessible. But we do have money left for Cherry
Yes, if we need to do something.
if we need to do something, but then they also cited, you know, the toilets in the bathroom at Cherry, which I don't think we could use that fundraising money for. So, you know, if we have to switch out the toilets at Cherry Lawn,
And that's a
we
capital.
feel that's a priority, then that's a capital request we're gonna have to be getting in over the cycle. But that he definitely mentioned. Something that they had found, so that's gonna have to happen, so. All right, so we'll think about, as we think about planning the sort of fall plan of work, you know, all linking back into, you know, the budget process. September will be the tour debrief and summary observations, maybe a preliminary discussion on the ADA report if we have it. That'll probably move into October as well, along with a master plan, review and discussion of priorities. And then push work on rule changes into more like November, December. 'Cause I don't think there's anything critical with the rules. There's nothing I'm aware of that's a gaping issue that's causing us a problem. Okay. All right, so does that feel right to people, thoughts, reactions?
Quick question.
Yes.
When do you plan to start the dredging and Cherry Lawn? The bond?
I guess Jen will get that in her report. You want to hit that in your report?
Yeah, I can touch on it when.
Okay. So let's see if there's anything else out there, we can touch that in her report.
All right,
Okay.
all right.
So anything else on this, or things that
Sounds good.
has been burning that you guys want to sort of talk about in terms of we lay out the agendas for the next, all the full meetings?
No, sounds good. It's a
Okay.
lot.
That's a lot. Okay, cool. Okay, Jen, director's report. I guess you can address the dredging.
I'll start with that since you brought it up. So that's one of our capital projects. So we're just in the process now, we'll be putting together a bid, obviously it's gonna have to go out to bid. The plan was that dredging at both of the ponds would happen in the October, November sort of timeframe, so that the dewatering happens over the winter, because it has to sit for a few months, and then we'd be able to restore the grounds over in the spring.
Have we addressed the issue of what caused the pollution in the first place? There's been discussion about runoff from the neighbors' lawns and so on. And, you know, if you dredge it and you haven't done anything about the initial cause of the problem, it's kind of like a waste of time.
Well, I think it's multifold, right? There's that, there's potentially some of that. That's more of an education item. I mean, that's not something that we have control over, what the neighbors are putting on. In terms of all the stuff, but there is a lot of debris, leaves,
Yeah.
trees, all that kind of stuff that is in there that just keeps building up over however many years. So the fact of getting all of that out can then help everything oxygenate better than it is, so.
Are we going to try to reach out to those neighbors
To do what?
to basically try to limit, in essence, whatever they're using that may be leaching into the pond water?
You have to understand, it could also be coming from way upstream. It doesn't mean that it's necessarily the immediate neighbors. You know,
We don't really know.
We don't know. I mean, it could come from miles away. We don't, you know, we don't know where it's coming from.
I thought there were two, I think one issue was the duckweed filled in, and that you treated.
Right.
Right, and that we continue to treat.
And that we continue to treat.
And that we continue to treat. And another issue is, just as you said, the ponds filling in, because sediment it's a river, and it comes from wherever it comes, and then you've got, with lots of trees around it, and you're right, it's just trees, and
Right.
they just
Yeah.
They
We
just
can't
fill in the
dictate to-
pond.
We can't dictate to the neighbors how they take care of their lawns, if they choose to put chemicals on their lawn to, right? We can't, just because they butt up to the lawn, we can't say anything. So it's,
Oh, well, it's a question of how you say it. I mean, you can let them know, as neighbors, we are going to be doing this to the pond. It's twofold, we need to dredge it, and we're hoping it's gonna, improve, but as a result of various chemicals, we do have this problem. It could be, the neighbors, it could be upstream at the golf course, it could be lots of different places. But I think it would be a great idea to inform and educate to the extent that we can, and not, make sure that it's, the lawyers have taken a look at it. But I think the neighbors should know what's going on, giving their neighbors to this pond.
But do we know? That's what I'm not clear on.
Yeah.
Like what?
I don't think we know exactly what's caused this problem over the years, if that's what you're asking.
Right, that's what I'm asking.
So we should,
mean, I think it's- I think it's a
take a
whole-
look at that.
I think it's a whole, I think it's a lot of different things that are all contributing to it.
Probably so, but we should get more of an understanding of that, given that it's our property and we want it to be healthy, and we're spending taxpayer money to dredge it, which I think is a good idea, and I definitely support the dredging, but we should be knowledgeable about the health of our ponds.
Two quick questions. When was the last time the ponds were dredged?
Ever?
I
That's what
don't,
he said.
I don't know about Cherry Lawn. I know Tilly has been done before.
And then is
The
there?
little one was done not too long ago, but that one's already filled in. But again, Tilly is different. Tilly is all the catch basins. So it's all the sediment from the streets and everything that kind of washes in.
And as a result of the dredging, does the company provide any kind of report? Like the makeup of what's dredged or what they found or anything like that?
I
Or
haven't
is-
gotten that far because I have to put together the documents. So I
I
know,
know,
we just haven't gotten
that
there.
might answer
So,
some of the questions we're having if there's some analysis that happens as a result of the report. Just a thought.
Yeah, that's a great idea, because otherwise I don't know
You
how.
can
we
always
know.
ask, you know,
And they'll probably test all the stuff that comes out, right? I mean,
That's
part of
what
the-
Cindy's asking.
Yeah.
yeah, and then maybe, since they're the experts, how to prevent the buildup from happening again.
Yeah, it's hard. I agree with Jen. I think it's coming down from up above.
Yeah,
I can
right.
tell you that the pond
General
that,
guidelines.
I know it's not our responsibility, but you know the pond that's by town hall between the cemetery and town hall, that gets dredged every like 5 to 7 years. And everything's coming down,
Yeah.
pouring into there, that's causing it. So
Yeah.
it's what's coming down off the other lawns and houses and stuff that's contaminating the water.
Yeah, but I think it's good to let everybody know
That we're doing it, and this is
that
what's
we're
happening.
doing, we're
this is what's
spending
happening.
taxpayers'
Yeah.
money and, you know, as a community, if we want our ponds and our waterways to be healthy, we
Yeah.
should know what's in them
Yeah.
as good citizens and stewards of our ponds.
Yeah, education doesn't hurt. It's not going to change somebody from whether I use this or whether I use that to help my lawn.
Oh, you,
I don't know. I mean, personally, I try to go organic. I went away from organic because the grass looks like crap when I go organic. So it looks better when I put down the Scots. I use Scots. You know, I don't know. I think a lot of people might feel that way.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
but
a
we can
cost-
educate them about,
cost
hey,
issue,
this is
too.
what happens, you know?
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, there are people on both sides of this issue that are vehement.
Yeah.
Everybody's being about everything.
So some other updates, so the Weed Beach project, we are in the final processes hopefully of revising the bid documents a little bit, and then, so we hope to have that posted shortly in the next couple of weeks, so that we get that out and can hopefully get some bidders this time. Pear Tree, that bid is out, it is posted. Those bids are due back August 7th. We have gotten some questions, so an addendum is about to go out, hopefully, I think tomorrow, hopefully. If not, so that's a good sign, because at least we have people, that shows people are interested, so we're keeping our fingers crossed on that one. Cherry Lawn Basketball Court, actually, they got ahead of it since I wrote this report, so they are actually there. They were there today. All of a sudden, they came, I think, Monday or Tuesday and did some initial patchwork. They were there today. They'll be there again first thing tomorrow. Should be done hopefully by the beginning of next week. While I'm talking about that, the cracks on the pickleball, they were supposed to have been done last, like in June, and because of all the rain, all their projects have been pushed back and delayed. So we're trying to get that scheduled for next week or the week after. So we're just trying to work around, we're gonna meet actually tomorrow and try to figure out some days and times that we can do that, so we can get those cracks repaired.
Jen, can I just ask who's doing it?
Sport Tech,
Okay, great, thank you.
and they're the ones doing the basketball
Yeah,
court too.
Yeah, and they're the ones who did the court.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
So as you saw in the report, our beach daily fee revenue is down 17%. That was as of, what date did I have in here? I think the 7th was the date that we went with. Obviously, it's pretty apparent, it's because it's rained pretty much every weekend until the last couple. So we're seeing that obviously has a big impact for what we're doing. We actually had a training tonight. I was over there checking it out with our lifeguards. We do these consistently. It's great. They're doing a great job, and keep them well-trained, just ready to go with anything. We do have a training with Post 53 on July 30th, so we try to do a coordinated training rescue drills with that. Again, our summer program registration is down. about 8% compared to this time last year. We did add some things with the whole school, the end of school date change kind of played havoc with us a little bit. We did add some for those 4 days, but I think by the time we got them out, people may have already made some plans or decided to do other things. So we'll see where that goes. We do have a bunch of camps that have been full that are going over throughout the summer. So that's good. And I'm not going to read you all of them that we have there. We are working on a date for a pickleball tournament that will be, we're looking at mid-September for that. Again, our beach permit, our sales revenue is up. Our numbers are down a little bit, although it's interesting because we have noticed, I was talking with Jim just yesterday, I think, and we were talking about it, and we seem to think that there's a little bit more foot traffic in the office now versus last year. I think because the weather it's not raining as much, and now you have the heat, but I think sometimes the heat can also backfire because it's so humid and nasty, nobody wants to be out. So it's kind of a catch-22, but.
And the water was closed yesterday.
Well, the water was closed because every time, I'll just make this announcement.
Yeah.
Every time we get an inch or more of rain in a 24-hour period, it is closed, the water is closed for at least 24 hours. So today it was back open, but that's done by the health department as a precautionary measure. So we do, but it is interesting because I think in the office, they're feeling like we're seeing more people still coming in to get their stickers where normally they probably would have already gotten them. So we'll see how it pans out season end.
Hey, Jen?
Yep.
Just one minute on the subject of beaches. On July 5th, I was down at Pear and it was like 2 in the afternoon. So I drove in, I was surprised at how many cars there were there. In fact, the guy at the booth said he had many arguments with people who were parking over by the boat club because there weren't enough spots. And they created their own row. So there's nothing he could do, and it was blocking where the boat ramp was. So he was having issues there. But the regular parking lot was pretty full. So every spot along the side beach, not the main beach, was taken. I think it's 36 spots, right, that we have along there. Mm-hmm. So every spot was taken with families with the back, the hatches open, etc. The rest of the parking lot, there were 34 open spots in the rest of the lot. So I was just thinking, next year, we're going to be eliminating 36 of those spots, right? When we do the construction.
I don't remember the exact number.
I think
Oh,
it's
was it?
that 20, I think it's 20-ish.
I think we're eliminating all the spots that line up at the side.
No, they're just pushed back.
I think
Are you sure?
but I think they're no longer perpendicular.
You won't be able to
Perhaps.
back up to the beach anymore. So right now, there's 36 spots that back into that beach, because I was counting them that day. Only point I'm making is that if we had 34 available and we eliminate 36, that leaves you with 2 open spots in that scenario.
Yeah, it's not,
Just
we're not
something-
eliminating 36. I'm sure it's not
Okay.
that many.
Okay.
Yeah, and I also remember when we did the tour back, whenever that was, the joint groups, Dan made the point that about half of the number of spaces we're losing is because the current spaces aren't to code.
Yeah.
They're too narrow. He said, so even if we just put a layer of blacktop on that parking lot and did nothing else and restriped, we would have to reduce spaces because they're not to the current necessary width. And that's about, I think that's about half of the 20. So
Okay, but it still comes to the point that we're going to be tight on spots. There's more people coming in, and if this was even before apartments are being built, we got still another 400 apartments being built. We're going to have an issue eventually, where we're going to have to turn people away from the beaches because there aren't any parking spots. So that's all.
that's why we need to get this done too, to create actual additional,
Yeah,
Space. Yeah.
oh, just that pear tree. Okay.
As I mentioned before, we're still working with Janice Marzano with the Youth Commission, getting those camps, making sure they're running this summer. So it's been a little busy in the office. It's interesting. So camps end depending on which program, either July 31st or August 1st. So we're about halfway through, which is great. Kids are having a good time, so it's good. We had they had a foam party the other day, and I got some good pictures, you know. Janice was sending, I'm like, that looks like a lot of fun, I should have gone.
So the camp numbers in your report don't include the youth commission camp?
Correct, that's totally
Okay.
separate, I'm not dealing with that at all. This is strictly Parks and Rec, it's not.
Well, you are dealing with it.
Well, we're dealing with it, but I mean.
You are dealing with
yes, but they're not in the report, I'm not reporting on that. Fireworks went off. Without a hitch, on the 11th. Turned out it was a great night. And it was nice. We didn't have to worry about the call to make whether or not to go to the rain date was not agony this year. I was like, when I looked earlier in the week, I was a little stressed, but as we got closer, it was fine. So that was great. Again, all of our parking passes sold out. So it was a really good night. We had a good food trucks and people just seemed to have a good time.
It looked like a larger turnout.
I don't know, I'm waiting for Placer AI we're doing some of that training right now. And I'm very excited because I said that to John that night. I said, I really can't wait to start using that. I want to see and compare, different years and things to see how, since we can look back until I think 2018, we'll be able to look back and see kind of what our numbers are. So it should help with that.
It seemed really full.
It did,
It seemed
yeah.
really full.
Yeah. And right now, staff, we're already working on our fall and winter programs. We're working on getting all that set up. Registration will be August 20th for residents and August 27th for non-residents. So Cassie and Jim are busy working on getting everybody lined up, all the different vendors and programs. In terms of our maintenance, obviously we're busy mowing and we still we're doing once a week in the parks and twice a week for athletic fields. We're still doing Little League fields on weekends and weekdays. So there's a lot of work still going on, and of course beaches are our priority. Staff are in every weekend, every day, and grooming, raking the sand, trash, and just blowing off the decks and parking lots and things like that. So
They do a great job.
so they're keeping busy. And then because of the heat that we've been having, they've actually had to go out. There's still some trees that they're concerned about, and we don't want to lose them, so they're watering some of the trees still a couple times a week. We have had some plumbing issues at both Weed Beach and Pear Tree. So what we realized was, especially at Pear Tree, there was a day and they had to close one of the bathrooms because there's only one toilet. So then where do we go? So we've now put a porta-john at Pear Tree, just so in the event that there's something like that happens, there will be some place for people to use. Because we just want to make sure it's a good situation. As the grass slows down, we'll start doing some of the other projects in the parks, like we'll reline all the parking lot, we repaint all the lines and things like that, do some trimming. Our pickle roll court, it has shipped. It should be here any day. I got something today with the company. We're trying to get the date scheduled. As soon as it comes in and it's in play, it's in our hands. There's a few days, I don't remember the number, but it's got to acclimate to our weather conditions. So my guess is probably on Monday, we'll try to sit down with staff and figure out when we can schedule it to put it down. So hopefully in the next week or so, we'll be meeting next week or the week after, we'll have it up and ready. We're working on getting the reservation schedule set for that, and we'll put those up. It will be on Court 1. So that it's accessible. Originally we were thinking of Court 6, but we realized that then it's not ADA accessible, so we'll be putting it on Court 1. And then you may have noticed, but we've also had the contractor in and has done kind of our first initial big sweep of removing mugwort here in the dunes. And then in the spring, the plan would be that the two that weren't replanted last year, we would kind of almost rip out and start from scratch and replant those, and then we'll be able to keep up with it, so.
Great.
So, yeah, I think it's something that we can't do ourselves, but I think bringing somebody in and then so that it doesn't get totally out of control, and we'll be getting them.
Really, the before and after, is really starting, really, really dramatic, looks so good now.
And then just our two kind of upcoming events, on July 25th, we're oh my God, I can't even say it, Spadtastics. We'll be doing a concert at Tilly Pond Park. That is in conjunction with Baywater Properties. And then August 22nd, we have the Luau here at Weed Beach. So those tickets, I think, just went on sale. So get ready, buy your tickets. It is tickets for parking, so if somebody doesn't want to pay that and just walk in, they can certainly do that too. So that's.
Do you need us to volunteer with that?
I don't think so.
Okay, let us know.
Yeah, it's a smaller event, we should be good, but we'll let you know
Please do.
if we need it. But that's all.
Any other questions for Jen?
Hey, Jen, do we no longer do kayaks? The company
yes.
did last year?
No, they were not coming back. We did put it out to bid and we did not receive any bids back. So we were kind of trying to find out, is it really needed? Is it not needed? At the time, quite honestly, didn't have we did reach out to people to try to get people to bid on it, but didn't really have the bandwidth. So we had reached out to them to try to get some information on numbers and so we're kind of keeping an eye on it, and we'll see if there are some different options that maybe we can do, starting next year, or we can rebid it next year, but.
Okay, someone asked me, that's all. Yeah. Okay.
I will say, we are having issues, all of our kayak racks, our storage spots are filled, we have a long wait list, and we are having issues with people not locking them, not putting them in the right places. Storms come because they're not locked, they're blown all over the place, so it's taking a lot of staff time, and then we have to go off the wait list if there are openings, but it's been a lot more difficult this year for some reason, we're not sure why.
So do you just call the owner when that happens and say, your kayak is down the beach, please come pick it up, or?
No, our staff have been taking it and bringing it back because they're just strewn all over. So we may not be doing that in the future. It may just be, it's there, come take a look, but depending on where it is, everybody should be locking it and, so, we're gonna be addressing how
Well,
we
maybe
handle that.
maybe you can put a boot on it like they do in Boston. But you can actually put another lock on and say, I'm sorry you didn't lock it, it's locked, please come see us at the
Right.
Parks and Rec.
So
Otherwise, we're gonna lock it for you.
we're looking into just, what are we gonna do, because we can't keep
No, that's
doing that. And it's
ridiculous.
not fair to all the other people that didn't get spots,
Right.
that are waiting.
Yeah.
So,
I would just get a whole bunch of locks. Say,
Or we
and when people
or we
rent
take
it-
them and tell them they can pick it up and we give the spot to somebody else.
Or when
That's
people
another
rent
option.
it and they've got their contract, or their rental contract, you can just say, if you do not lock it, we will lock it for you, come see us for the code.
Well, but we don't want to be responsible for anybody's property, so it's
Right.
something that we're
Right,
gonna
it's
we'll work
complicated,
through,
right. That's a good.
but I just want to make the point, and hopefully if anybody's listening and they don't have their kayaks or paddleboard locked, that they lock it.
They're not getting stolen though.
I haven't heard, I don't know, somebody had said, and one's missing, and then one was found, a couple days later over in the, marshy area, so I don't know, you don't know, is anyone taking it and using it without them knowing because it's unlocked, it's just, so.
Do you have the email list that you could send a note out saying we're finding them?
Multiple
times
things have been sent out, so.
Welcome to the entitled generation.
So, that's it.
Okay, any other questions for Jen? Okay, just have, just a few things. Jen mentioned the fire where they were great. That was really, really good show and everything seemed to be going smoothly. The parking was easy, so great job for the staff. I know it was a long night for you.
It's fine.
Yeah, but the fireworks were really, really beautiful. I also wanted to mention the Cherry Lawn event, the 50th anniversary celebration was excellent. That was a really, really great event. It was well organized. There were tons of, I was able to bring my granddaughters, they had a great time. Loved the scavenger hunt. That was really their favorite. They got their faces painted and did crafts, and there was just a ton of things to do, and it was a really, really nice event. So, good. I hope the committee was pleased with the results. But it seemed like the turnout was really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, but very, very well organized. And let's see, the Great Island Committee, we are down to, just actually got in my inbox late this afternoon, the final draft of the master plan. So we expect to be voting on that a week from tonight, next Wednesday, and then that'll get referred over to the selectmen. And pending approval, then the whole process will start to look at the different projects that'll be prioritized and go through, design and, P&Z and EPC or whatever approvals are needed, and, the next process will begin, but we should be wrapping up the master plan next Wednesday. So it's a big milestone. It's been a lot of work. The only other thing I really wanted to mention, it's been a little quiet the last few weeks, I think with the holiday and everything. We do have an August meeting on the schedule, August 20th. I'm hoping we will not need that. I'm not going to cancel it yet because in case something comes up that, really can't hold until September, we'll keep it for now. But, as we get closer to, and Jen and I talk, if there isn't anything urgent, I'm hopeful we'll be able to cancel that meeting.
We usually do.
We usually do. We usually do. So, as I said, I just think it's a little premature, just in case, especially like we've got the pear tree bid package out there right now. So I don't know. I'm not even sure I know what it would be, but if something came up and it was like, shoot, we really need to talk about this, I just want to hold before we do that. So that is it. That's it. So, anything else?
Oh my gosh, Lori, it's
think that's it.
29.
I know, we've had two quick ones, but I think once we get into the fall, if these projects get going, or when these projects get going, and the budget and everything, we'll be back into our normal longer meetings, so let's take the wins for a couple of months, so. Okay, so I'll take a motion to adjourn. Amy? Mary Louise? Okay, all in favor? Okay.
Thank you.
All right.